There are certain animals in Australia that cause people far too many problems. These animals have even had war declared on them on the continent. That's how serious the difficulties they've caused are. But how did they get here, and what terrible things have they done? Get ready for a riveting investigation into how one animal became one of the most destructive invaders in Australian history. You're on the Wild World channel, and today we'll uncover the unexpected story of foxes in Australia, from an ill-considered hobby to an ecological disaster. Don't forget to rate this video and subscribe to the channel. And let's begin. So, foxes. First, we should figure out how they even appeared in Australia. Back in 1845, European colonizers brought these animals to New South Wales, and not because they were of any practical use, but merely so they wouldn't miss out on their familiar entertainment, hunting. It was because of this traditional English sport that many foxes were released in the Melbourne area, and 20 years later, in the state of Victoria, these animals were already declared pests. Today in Australia, you can encounter them almost everywhere. No wonder, since people even provided them with prey by bringing rabbits here too, and foxes have few natural predators here. Today, there are approximately 1,700,000 foxes in Australia. In Melbourne, for example, there are up to 16 individuals per square kilometer. The economic damage from these animals in Australia is estimated at $227.5 million per year. They are considered one of the most dangerous invasive species here. Foxes pose a threat to approximately 14 bird species, 48 mammal species, 12 reptile species, and 2 amphibian species. They consider almost any animal weighing less than 5.5 kilograms as potential prey. According to scientists, Australian foxes destroy 300 million native animals annually. Even those who can climb trees aren't safe from them. At first, researchers thought that arboreal animals were not at risk, but it soon became known that foxes also climb trees, in search of, for example, koala cubs. In general, it turns out that no animal on the continent that a fox might consider a potential meal feels safe. Let's also touch on the topic of fox attacks on farms. The damage to agriculture is estimated at $28 million per year. The greatest harm is done to sheep farmers. In just one night, a single fox can kill 12 lambs. Everything is complicated by the fact that foxes are very intelligent animals. Even if all the foxes on a particular farm are eliminated, other foxes will understand that the territory is free and immediately occupy it, and you'll have to start all over again. These animals are also known for killing in excess. It's their strategy. That is, they destroy more victims than they need for dinner at the moment. Foxes can also carry small carcasses to their dens to feed their cubs. Most attacks occur in the first 24 hours of the victim's life, while the second lamb is being born, and the first is just wandering around with no one to protect it. In general, farmers cannot allow attacks to continue. They are constantly looking for ways to combat pests. The simplest method is shooting. However, it's not particularly effective. Nevertheless, shooting is carried out by almost all government pest control services, landowners, and professional shooters, of course. You can't just go and kill. Certain recommendations have been developed for such hunting. In general, only trained people who know where to hit for the animal to die instantly should shoot. Without this knowledge, you can't get a license. Shooting is usually done at night from a vehicle. The prey is illuminated by a spotlight. You can only shoot when you know for sure the shot will be fatal. As mentioned earlier, foxes are very smart and learn quickly. So, if something that scares them happens after light or sound, they will never fall for a similar trap again. By the way, authorities conduct promotions for hunters and farmers to encourage them to fight pests. For example, hunters in Victoria earned about $1 million in a year by killing 100,000 animals. And in Australia, there are still traditional fox hunting clubs. Yes, the very same entertainment activity for which the animals were brought here. In the winter months, once a week, members of such clubs go horseback riding to hunt foxes. Participants are also accompanied by hounds. Such hunting, by the way, has many opponents who claim that destroying foxes with dogs is inhumane. However, these statements change nothing. Wealthy people still hunt animals on private property. As mentioned above, farmers are constantly looking for ways to combat foxes, and it's not always killing. For example, sometimes people just try to make animals stay away from farms. One of the devices invented for this is a light that flashes at a certain interval, thus scaring away foxes. Animals think that if there's light somewhere, it means there are people there, and for this reason, they avoid the place. Foxes are also simply trapped, but this requires a lot of time, effort, and money, and the effectiveness in terms of population reduction when using this method is not very high. There aren't many real animal trapping professionals either. Traps are usually used in urban areas where the use of poisons is limited and shooting is prohibited. In general, many consider traps, which foxes are very suspicious of. By the way, not the best idea. Besides, where's the guarantee that an animal of some endangered species won't get caught in a fox trap? Another method of fox destruction is carbon monoxide. To use it, you need to find a fox's den. This method is more suitable for solving local problems. For example, if a fox den is located on a farm, but all this is somehow too inhumane. How about this idea? Scientists have found that foxes can associate the feeling of nausea with certain foods. Experiments have already been conducted on baits with a special substance that causes vomiting. After the first stomach upset, the number of baits taken by the animals decreased by 30%. In general, people are looking for all sorts of ways to stop the fox invasion, and maybe someday they will manage to find something both humane and effective. See you soon.